And now for more details on this important and sad event, we have Stephanie Kennedy, our collaborator there in the UK, and she's offering us more details. Go ahead, Steph.
Hi there, good evening, everybody. Yes, well, it's, big news here in the United Kingdom. It's a bit of a shock, but at the same time, not really. She hasn't been well for a long time. She has missed on many big events, most notably the Jubilee that happened a few months ago. She was absent for all of those celebrations. So the public have kind of been getting used to the fact that soon they would be without their queen. And the news coming today, therefore, is not a huge shock, but still, it's really kind of big news for everybody, especially considering, recently how tumultuous things have been in the United Kingdom. We've had a recent change of Prime Minister, we're still feeling the repercussions of the pandemic, Brexit. All of these things have created quite an unstable situation in the United Kingdom, full of uncertainty. No one's quite sure what's going to happen next. The cost of living crisis, soaring energy prices, people unable to heat their homes or put food on the table. These are real worries for Britons at the moment. But the Queen had always offered this figure of stability, of certainty. She was always there, and as the country's longest serving monarch, she really was that pillar that everyone turned towards. So feelings of uncertainty, what's going to happen next, are certainly going to reign now in the United Kingdom.
Lawmakers in the UK are saying that the Queen was also the glue event, or the joining person in the monarchy, in the country, and in the identity of the British and the UK. In this case, I think maybe with her passing and a new succession after her, is this a new era? Is this a new movement? How can you say to us what is meaning to the UK and the people?
Well, as I said, I think there's now a bit of uncertainty for the United Kingdom, for Britain, for England. She has been a monarch for so long. She has seen many prime ministers. People will have grown up always with Queen Elizabeth II as their queen. So it's definitely a huge shock. There's a big change is about to happen. And as I said, at the moment, the economic situation here and everywhere in the world really is a bit uncertain as well. Life has got very expensive, huge rates of inflation. It's driving lots of people into poverty. And so this feeling of not knowing what's going to happen next is now going to feel even greater with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. So no one really knows what to expect. I mean, her son, King Charles III, now has already spoken to the country as king. So there certainly is going to be an element of the show must go on, business as usual. And that will definitely be what the government and what the monarchy will try to offer. But how exactly the next few days are going to play out, I'm not quite sure. I'm sure there will be, many days of remembering the Queen, obviously a huge state funeral. But then how people will react to their new king, if this will have an impact at all, is this really going to impact people on a very real practical basis? Probably not. But I think symbolically, the Queen, she's always been, this familiar figure for everyone, almost to some extent unifying the country a bit when there has been a lack of leadership in government. We could always kind of look towards the Queen as this one person who was always there offering that stability. So, it's unsure whether now King Charles can replace her and can offer that same level of support for Britons.
Yeah, we were talking about the Britons and the people in the UK, but let's talk a little bit about outside the UK borders. In this case, we know Barbados took off from the Commonwealth and became independent of it, and also St. Vincent and the Grenadines was planning to do the same. So my question is how this symbolic succession and symbolic change could also turn the tides for the nations outside the UK.
I mean, I don't think I would be the best person to really speak on that matter. You would have to speak to someone living in those countries. But I definitely think a new time, a new era is coming. In fact, interestingly, being head of the Commonwealth, as the Queen was, is not a hereditary position. The Commonwealth under the Queen Elizabeth II developed and grew with her. So it's not something that when she came to the throne, she inherited. It's something that happened under her reign. So actually, that's a bit of a grey area. Who now will become head of the Commonwealth, if this is even a sustainable role in today's modern times? You know, this is actually something that the monarchy are going to have to figure out. And there's probably going to be an element of campaigning, lobbying, schmoozing. You know, leaders of the Commonwealth will be flying over to the United Kingdom as we speak. They would be invited to Buckingham Palace to celebrate or commemorate the Queen. And in that, there will also be discussions of what happens next. Now, we already know many countries of the Commonwealth have already expressed desire to leave the Commonwealth. They no longer feel it's an organisation fit for modern times. And as I said earlier, it's not actually a role, head of the Commonwealth, which is enshrined in generations and generations of tradition and history. It's actually a very relatively new role. So there is no yet news on how things will progress there.
Well, Stephanie, we are expecting for those news and also to see how the events unfold. Thank you, Stephanie Kennedy, for your collaboration here in From the South.
Thank you.